Towers of Doom.
Yeah, and I went back to some of the games that we got from Luna Meow yesterday and tried to look at them a little bit more closely and try and find, you know, what can we expect from this team? Like, what do we see different within their own region compared to like what's happening here? And beyond the fact of, you know, things get punished better at the international level.
Yep.
Specifically, I feel like there was kind of a moment of a lapse of judgment within the idea that a lot of younger teams especially deal with. Like, if you're running a 1-4, right? Because 4 members are together, you feel like you're all doing the same thing. But if the communication isn't there to all be on the same page with every single decision being made, like for instance, clear the wave or kill the hero. You all have to be as a unit. And very often KT4 and the rest of the team is not on the same area, especially when looking at that variant game. So I really want to see KT4 and the rest of the team, when they're running those kind of rotations, it doesn't even have to be a 1-4. Just make sure the idea is it the clear or is it the kill?
It's time for game number 1 here. Method goes up against Luna Meow, as we already have those bans coming in, and these bans are becoming more and more common.
For multiple reasons, I feel like Luna Meow must win early game if they have any chance. And I said this about them yesterday, but they're a momentum-based team. But also, they lost out on rotations heavily versus Heroes Hearth Esports, and that gets only worse considering how global-focused Method has been. A lot of Dahaka, a lot of Falstad, a lot of Abathur. Here, seeing the Genji already makes me think it's likely they try to go into the double reset unless we see Luna Meow take away that Li Ming, because it's exactly what they played yesterday.
That's the point I wanted to echo as well, just to sort of say that, generally speaking, minor region teams, they will draft for team fights. They just want to fight. They just want to get in your face. They say, maybe we can't execute on the same degree of skill, which is what Dre was just talking about before, and maybe we can't sort of have the ability to go around the map as much as we would like to see. So Method, I would imagine, would want to either just start on them with a straight aggressive comp, or go for that sort of macro style of play. But Luna Meow, it had to be expected, KT4 going for that Garrosh. But the Dahaka does actually quite interest me, Dread.
And we also have to consider the option that Abathur has been let through to this point, sitting on Towers of Doom with the Genji. It is a go-to strategy that Method is very comfortable with. Abathur in their past is one of the, their better heroes. Granted, I don't think it's going to be the same playstyle we got from them before.
Right.
Also, they have the opportunity of Medivh if they would like to.
I'm actually just really surprised that Luna Meow was so focused on getting Dahaka. Garrosh is a given, but Malfurion made it all the way through
100%.
that.
It's the lowest priority Malfurion I think we've almost gotten, it feels like.
I get that the non-league regions like to have globals as a way of trying to enable yourself to have more team fights, because you keep up with an experience when you lose elsewhere, but I'm really surprised. And Method picks Deckard Cain over Malfurion.
Yeah. I suppose if I was to try and give some insight into the idea of the Dahaka, just from a sort of, if I was to take a step back and look at the minor regions as a whole, we talk about how small their hero pools can be based on the amount of competition that they have and the amount of opportunities they have to play around with things. I almost feel as if it's a case of they fall down a narrow path of we need to deny this, we need to deny that. And it's like a jigsaw puzzle that you're trying to put all together, but then suddenly you've got a piece from here and a piece from there, and it hasn't actually all stuck together quite nicely. And you're thinking, this isn't as cohesive as it should have been. And you get to the end and you're feeling, we kind of got outdrafted. So I'm concerned, as you mentioned, that they valued the Dahaka that much more over the Malfurion.
One thing that I find really interesting as well is this is the second time that we've gotten an immediate response in the 2-3 form method to go into the Murden. We talked about, the kind of ETC versus Murden trade-off for it seems like some teams, especially, out of Korea, that ETC is still kind of that answer. Obviously, Murden is an option, but this is now showing, a pretty consistent pattern in response from them.
And he has a strong win rate.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 5 out of 6 games he won. And a lot of teams that we would be expecting to dictate the meta, choosing to pick him and right around that same rotation. With Li Ming and Blaze Ban, Vala Ariel. Ariel has had a rough time.
Yeah.
A rough time.
But this is why, because when I actually asked Kim, I said, hey, look, your Stukov is, without a doubt, your most played support, more than Malfurion, because I don't think Stukov is the top choice anymore. Definitely, I feel as if Oriole and Deckard are the better go-to supports now. It doesn't even consider Malfurion, which is quite interesting when I had a bit of a discussion with him, but we've seen it so far from the Korean teams, and we're going to see it here. It's going to be the two components of what was once a three-man hypercarry Valacom.
Though, Kim is a playmaking support. When he played Stukov, he would prioritize bio-kill switch for his weighted pushel all the time over even healing pathogen. He wants to set up kills for the team.
Yeah.
Detainment strike, you can make some plays.
For sure. But,
but there's
the biggest counter to this is the Chromie, because if you have an Aegis, you've got the easy Dragon Breath into the Sandblast, and it's lights out.
And they early picked that Dahaka and banned Blaze, so there was no hope to have that as a possible counter to hop in so that you avoid the temporal loop. 2 heads up from Method.
punishment potential here from Method, a team with a lot more experience, is going to start to shine on through here. And this is really what I was like trying to say at the very start of the draft for Luna Meow, as to how you have those comfort picks, but you also feel like you need to deny away stuff. And it's that psychological battle which can really start to work against you, as they have a 5th and final pick here. I would imagine this would be for, I want to say Garnet Devil?
Yeah, it's going to be for Garnet Devil.
They've denied away his Leeming already, which leaves the idea of a Gul'dan, Kel'Thas. They don't really sound too attractive to me, quite personally.
Jaina's an opportunity as well, but it's not necessarily something that I believe that, you know, he has massively within his arsenal here. Yeah, Jaina, 0 games played so far within the region there for Garnet Devil.
Yep.
I will say
Phoenix or Falstad.
the one thing I want to raise as a
Falstad.
major concern on the side of Luna Meow is that paradigm of the 1-4 split, and if everybody's not on the same page, what demands it more than any other composition? It is Ariel plus a hat target. It is insanely heavy on how high of a synergistic 4-man group that they need to have as a unit here. Again, you know, based on the thought process, I feel like we broke it down very, very well on the ideology that we see from this team, but it is going to demand them to be very synergistic. I don't put it out of the realm of possibility. I just know that if we see the same level of synergy and coordination, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get a win here over Method.
Are we highly worried here for Luna Meow?
I will add the fact that we discussed about the Falster when I was just going through Garnet Devil's roster and saying Gul'dan, Leeming, Kel'Thas as his top 3. Not really going to do too much there up against the Chromie. Falster, we saw what it can do against Chromie yesterday. The Gust comes across, really interrupting, if we are going to see a temporal loop, the ability for that to actually find that value. I feel like they had to really, if anything, go for the Falster to patch the weakness of their early game, or their early first few picks in that draft.
I want to go for a prediction starting with you, Gilly.
All right, well, it's an understandable place where Luna Meow went within the draft. I just don't think execution-wise that they'll be able to pull it off. I think the skill level is way too Method favored, so my prediction will be for Method.
I think the Method draft sets the tone for me, and I believe their execution and just ability in general is superior, so Method for me as well.
I really appreciate some of the adjustments Luna Meow made. Like, I think objectively speaking, their draft was, you know, an improvement, actually, from what we saw from them. But again, when looking at those regions, generally speaking, sticking to the comfort gives them the best success. And against Method here and flexing out, I give it to Method.
And it looks like it's going to be 4 for Method from me as well. Unless this Chromie steps out into a very vulnerable position and Dahak comes in from a bush or Falstad flies forward, it's going to be difficult to deal with such kind of power that we see. Let's check in with the votes for Twitch chat. Almost the 80-20 split, the usual split here for the mid-season Brawl. We're close to it. This one, pretty justified so far at the moment here from Method. It's going to have to take a big step up here from Luna Meow to try and take it. But we're hopeful to see if they can kind of find themselves a good position here. Let's check in with the commentators as well, who will be bringing you this first one. And we do have Mr. J. Howen Wolf. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Feeling pretty good so far. I think I gotten warmed up with the first series there of Tempo and Genji. I wanted to call him Genji again. I don't know why, but
it's so
things very different, I think, in the series.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how Method utilizes this comp because they've been really globally focused. They've got 2 globals against them now, so that's what I'm excited about.
All right, guys. Well, have a good one.
All right, Wolf. Back at it again. First time since Clash.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it, man.
I'm excited as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm absolutely excited.
All right, I'm excited too, because we're going to get things underway here. Method, always the entertaining team here from Europe, and they're going to be here on the left in blue. A Schwimpy Genji. Has been many a stories told about that hero. Arcaner, he's going to be on Murden. Curson, Deckard one more time. Nick, he's on Chromie, and Ethereal Angel going to be rounding it out on the Tyrael.
Of course, their opponents hailing from Taiwan, Luna Meow, Virgil on the Dahaka, KT4 on Garrosh, Bowie, otherwise known as 005 on Vala, Kim on Ariel, and last but not least, Garnet Devil on the Falstad. So double global here for Luna Meow. This will be the first time Method does not have that Dahaka early in the draft, with the exception of Dignitas controlling the global in that final game for them yesterday. So Luna Meow, they're trying to kind of take a page out of Method's book in a lot of ways, but I do feel like you're playing into a strong macro team. Taiwan never really known for strong macro play, and I kind of have to agree with the desk sentiment about how this first game is going to go.
Well, they're already under assault here. Deckard zoning out an entire areas. KT4 getting quite a bit of damage, but 005 getting plenty of hope built up there for that Ariel. And you got to worry, once that Vala, if they go down in a team fight, can you sustain through the potential onslaught beyond that. So that'll be a key point that we'll have to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, Falstad's just not simply going to be able to do enough damage, I think, to keep the hope generated to allow that healing. Vala can, with double support, bring a lot, or, tank a lot of the aggro, but with solo here, it's going to be a lot tougher.
Nice
Big aggression
containment
here.
strike. Yeah, but this is the Sapphire coming in. That extra slow just does so much to set up, and that's a scary moment, I think, that we saw right there. I mean, it didn't look anything too threatening, but every time that Sapphire is activated and you get that big slow and then you can get the root follow-up, that's where Genji can shine. That's where Chromie can shine, because generally, like, all right, I need that CC, I need that Stormbolt from Murden to get this lockdown, but you've got multiple ways to set this up. And Nick on Chromie, it's a hero at last year going into BlizzCon, was one of his go-tos, very, very potent on this hero, and right now he's going to lock in. And nice time trap there.
I mean, he's been very good at his skill shots in this very game. As we're watching, we know he had some recent eye surgery, and there was some questions about his vision, which is very important for esports coming into this. But he's been really on point thus far, and it's a lot easier with this composition to be able to lock these heroes down. As mentioned earlier as well, when the Aegis has come out, you're basically just giving free targets to Chromie. So with all the CC plus the Aegis, Nick should be able to rack up tons of damage here. And it's going to be very difficult for Luna Meow to deal with that.
Schwempy is always going to be hyper-aggressive when he's on a Genji. So those plays right there, he's like, look, they don't have to be there, but Schwempy is so talented that he's like, look, I can get away with this. He has a lot of fun, I think, when he's on these hyper-aggressive heroes, whether it's the Genji, and he's played a wide number of heroes. We see the Tracer banned against him quite a bit as well. So always fun to kind of see what are we going to get out of that. And you mentioned that, will we potentially, Dragon Blade seems likely against the Ariel and the Vala and the Falstad, but you kind of wonder in the same regard of that Crystal Aegis, maybe we'll get an X-Strike.
Can be very strong. They have the Tyrael pick to back up the Dragon Blade as well. So I'm leaning towards the Dragon Blade there, but there is definitely some potential for that. You have so much extra mobility as well. Buoy, whoa, way overextending. Where's the heal? Must have been on cooldown there, and this is looking horrible for Luna Meow. Virgil comes in to die, does have the burrow at least, but he's basically just used so many resources. He's not getting anything out of it. Way late on the rotation. Punish play coming in here for Method, and they take a massive lead now in this early game.
And a big part of that was that the global was used. That's actually been twice now that the global's been used. We saw the Dahaka come in on that potential invade, was about 2 to 3 seconds late there. And right there, unable to get that gank, and not only not getting the kill, but giving up the kill, and the entire time, Tyrael's chilling in the top lane. It's not like he's got insane wave clear, but that's experience that you're not getting if you're on the side of Luna Meow.
Yeah, you're just really giving the... well, hold that thought. We're going to see this collapse onto KT4. Does not grab the Scroll of Sealing. Detainment Strike's good. Big slow coming in with the Sapphire. They should be able to retreat away. But yeah, when you lose that global hero, that means that Falstad's getting less done. He has to be up in the top lane. Virgil now going to come in. Again, another burrow usage here. Or brush stock, I should say. Just not really getting much out of it. And you need to be careful about managing that cooldown. You can use it somewhat liberally when you're ahead, especially if you have a double global. But when you're using it to get back into lane, when you're using it late in team fights, then you don't have it when it matters most, when your Falstad's under pressure. So Luna Meow significantly behind in experience despite having that double global. Core health, as well, lead here for Method. We'll grab this Sapper camp to counter out the Sapper push. Let's see how they use the brush talk this time, because this is an opportunity for them to catch up and soak if they can delay in that bot altar.
They definitely need to do that. It looks like Dahaka kind of sniffing out, trying to see what's going on up there. But another key thing to note here is the reduced healing that we see coming in from Deckard going into that Emerald at level 7. So that's a huge denial for a potential Ariel heal coming in. So if the moment gets tense and Deckard can set that up, I mean, that could be extremely impactful in these team fights. So we'll see as this goes on and where we're at post 20. Another time trap in the bush, and Virgil's going to find that Met there. See if we get the interrupt here on Kim. Nobody's going in just yet.
Well, notice that Method's kind of duped as Buoy actually gets jumped on here by Schwempy. Arcaner's coming in. They want to commit to this. Garnet Devil is going to be the second to fall here, and this is disastrous for Luna Meow. They may have gotten the altar, but that's all they're going to get here. They're going to get wiped as Virgil has to use his burrow one more time, tries to do some juke in here, but the damage is too much. He will go down as Schwempy jumps over the wall. Once again, it's a full team wipe. Schwempy bringing in 4 kills in this fight. Though what's really cool about what Method did there was they baited out 2 globals. Both the globals came down. The whole time, we actually had Tyrael soaking top, soaking mid, getting that extra experience. So a Thorough Angel here, one of his old favorites, the Tyrael, gets a lot of extra soak, manages the waves. Let's watch this fight again as Buoy, again, overextends, Swimpy punishes. And then it's just a cleanup here as Arcana comes down.
That stun there was actually really cool because Murden actually got the interrupt on the barrel roll, and we actually see Falstad with the extra barrel roll range, but he actually caught him with that Stormbolt in the middle there. So that potentially might have saved the life of Falstad had that not been caught there. But the flanking position there of Arcaner coming in, those are the ones where you feel real good like, guys, I got him. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool play there for Method.
I mean, when you're keeping Tyrael in the solo lane and still delaying and still winning team fights and having these quick rotations down, it feels like you're really outplaying, despite not having the best tools to macro, you're really winning that macro war against this team that's just not known, and a region that's not known for macro.
Okay, when you say the macro, Falstad just flew in again. You talked about the priority on the global. If you truly want to use that global, Dahaka should be coming bot lane now and potentially looking for that. You could trade off. This will likely be a trade on altars. But you're committing resources that are on long cooldowns, and they're not effective. You're not getting as much out of them as you could potentially have. So it's a bit surprising when you see those moments. We'll see how this goes, but either way, we did get Mighty Gust. Now we're waiting to see Vala. Are we going to get a Rain of Vengeance, or are we going to get a Strafe here?
That's the big question. This is going to be that Dragon Blade Sank. You see Garnet Devil grabs this camp. They're going to trade that out. Again, using their globals a little bit inefficiently here. But I wonder now, as well with Buoy's performance here on the Vala, if this was really the right pick. They went into 2 different styles. Hold that thought. Here's the lockdown to KT4. Not going to get the follow-up damage. But they went into 2 styles, global and then hyper carry with the Vala. And it's just simply not working out for them. And it's like their draft didn't really commit to either fully. And again, the CC connect, sure, the Unstoppable comes through, but this is already such a fantastic trade. And Buoy cannot be stepping forward like that, or he's going to find himself at the end of another blade of Schwimpy.
Super dangerous. I mean, we did get Wingman for Falstad, so he, as you showed, he did get that camp. He used those bribe stacks, so every time you get a bribe in, you amplify the damage of that lightning rod, making sure to get more damage. However, the build, we've seen some teams as of late go into the full lightning rod build. This one, however, is not, opting to go into the Q at 7, and of course the extra barrel roll range plus that permanent shield, which will help it start fights, I think, a little bit easier. So a different style here. So definitely not completely lost, but we're going to wait to see the effectiveness in the later game.
Oh, this is way overextended here right now. Buoy, just look at all the damage he's taking. Now he's caught in the Scroll of Sealing, just barely gets out of that one. But he's just trying to play so aggressive, and that's why I think he's considering the Strafe here, because he's just such an aggressive ball player. He's hoping to get the massive damage. Look at that Stormbolt connect. And this is just going to guarantee them pressure onto this bell tower. They grab the kill here. Schwimpy's going in. Gust has to be used for disengage, but it's not in time to save the bell tower. And this is looking like a fantastic position for Method to get that next 10-shot phase here. Look, they're already on it.
Look, if I'm on Method right now, right? Look, Nick is an insanely good player. But if I'm playing with Method, I'm like, look, man, I'm following up everything that Method is doing. The amount of CC, everything that they're setting up is setting up skill shot after skill shot. I could play that role. Method is right now just slaughtering Luna Meow, and it's led by that front line of Arcaner, and then of course Deckard there, Curson. They are setting up so much for this team. They're doing it again.
They're doing it again, setting up for this fight here. They do go ahead and commit to the slowing sands right now. Not actually going to be able to find any kills, but they protect the bell tower. On one hand, we're being really critical of 005's positioning on the Vala, but we're also, I feel like, underappreciating Nick's positioning, as he's just able to hit all of these shots. And at the same time, what Buoy wants to do, why he's being so aggressive, he's hoping he can just chunk Nick out, but it's not happening. His positioning is too good. And Schwimpy baits here this fight. Buoy in such an aggressive spot. And again, looking very low. Stasis has to be used here. They gust for the disengage. And
that gust just saved the life there of Buoy. Because Chromie had a Q lined up, ready to go. I mean, he was locked and loaded. And then actually got slightly delayed there and interrupted with that Mighty Gust. He actually just saved life. But that is committing 2 heroics, Wolf, to save 1 person.
Oh, I mean, it's just efficiency for Method and Luna Meow not controlling the global well. and getting outclassed because Bowie is trying to play this Vala like he doesn't respect his opponents, and he really needs to be better at judging the damage output here. Look at this. Arcaner comes in with the start of this fight, and now isolating KT4. He can't get out. There's a huge sleep coming out. Stay a while and listen, and Shrimpy's gonna come in here. They've got this Divine Shield, or rather the Sanctification to protect him. There's no way out here for Luna Meow. This is looking like this might actually end the game.
It's just an absolute
Sappers pushing
right
bottom.
Yeah, they're getting Sappers. They're going to get Boss here. Quick total, that's going to put us down to 11 at the end of this, and there's 5 on each side. If they truly want to end, actually, this is triple Ultra Phase. This might actually be.
I think this actually might just be the way. I mean, how can they interrupt?
It's over.
It's GG?
It's 100% over. Method comes out, puts on a masterclass. They do get a kill at the end. I'm guessing Shrimpy having a little bit of fun there, as he is the only death on the side of Method. I think that might have been a little bit more self-inflicted there.
This has got to feel tragic for Luna Meow. You know, this is a team that has performed well in group stage, but was not considered to be the strongest European team. They took the style of Method. They tried to replicate a lot of it, but they didn't go all in on controlling the globals, and Bowie was just trying to kill Nick, but Nick was never going to stand in a place where he could actually get those kills. The trades were always in favor of Method, and I feel like Method was even able to play with their food a little bit. Like I said on the desk earlier, I think this is one of those series where Method looks at today going, it's a rest day. It's going to be a 2-0 for us. We're going into day 3. You can't expect any other result here.
It's really great to see the way that Method plays. I mean, the communication obviously is there. Obviously some changes coming up for that team. But in the moment right now, we saw them yesterday take the game off Team Dignitas, things of that nature, to put themselves in a very good position. Instead of just saying, hey, we're going to make it out, we're going to make it in the playoff stage, it's like, hey, wait a minute, maybe we're shooting for that 1-2 spot. So for Method to come out strong in these first few days, definitely making a statement.
Oh, absolutely. Before we talk more about it, though, we're going to throw it back to Caleres and the panel to break down game number 1.